So look, so here's the video. Let me pull it closer to the camera. Be ghetto and bootleg as ever. Like, oh, Chris must be got the controls. Look at this bootleg stuff. It's only one camera. They all close together. So Jamal, you can't call in sick, man.
Oh man, that's not what I want to hear. I'm feeling a little ill right now. All right, there we go.
Oh my gosh, Randy, I just remembered the drink.
Okay.
Calypso.
I've never heard of that.
Am I pronouncing it right, Jamal? Calypso drinks?
Calypso, what is that?
The drinks. That's in the glass bottles, like they have the different flavors and stuff.
You're not talking about Four Loko.
No. It's Calypso, I think.
I don't know what you're talking about.
They come in a glass bottle like this big, and they have like all different kind of flavors, like cherry lemonade.
Oh, yeah.
You have the other headsets?
Okay.
Me?
Yeah, the plug-in ones.
Like for the phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's hilarious. We were talking about these drinks last week. It took me 7 days to remember. Like, wait, Calypso.
Have you remembered the song from
Was
what was his name?
Well, you'd see these.
man, yeah, it's Calypso. What?
Oh,
So look, they have wild flavors, but they're not like wild where it's like silly, like kind of makes sense. So like your tea that you fix, it tastes a lot like it's called Southern peach and Southern tea, and it's the same color, but it's like a peach and lemonade mix. It's fantastic.
I can tell you, they don't sell these everywhere, Chris. Because I tried to look for something like this at the corner liquor, they don't have it.
Yeah, sometimes like 7-Eleven, or then like that's or some or every now and then like mom and pop places will have them if they know about them. They can be snippet pricey. They're not too expensive. They're like $2, $3, but it's they're a good size. So it's not like a rip-off. It's more than 20 ounces.
We are live in here. I was waiting for him to finish talking about this random drink they found.
I was like just exciting that I remembered, but I'm done.
Welcome to America's Mind. We are America's favorite podcast. If this is your first time here, and we are happy to have you, make sure you hit that like, that share, and that subscribe button, and the notification bell, so YouTube can bother you when we go on. I'm Jamal Williams.
I am Christopher Barris.
And we got Randy K.
Hey.
That's what she does. She throws up the things. Oh, and their camera's frozen, of course.
Oh, okay.
Of course. That's what happens.
That's right, I'm hearing one.
Yeah, she's here. I'm gonna get her back right.
See, I told you that he has to do
No,
all of
there
the
you
tech
go.
stuff, you know? Camera freeze
So,
on.
yeah, and we
Me
have
one time,
Randy
the
K.
camera frozen for the whole duration period of the show.
We're on it.
That's not where we're supposed to be. There we go. And our production's running slow. What is that? What's going on with this?
Let me see if should I slide over, pivot.
There you go.
All right,
Yeah, we're losing frames. I don't know why.
everything.
Yeah, so how's everybody doing? I'm trying to get the chat up. That's my last mission right now. I'm gonna get the chat up. and then we'll be ready to go. We have 6 cool topics for y'all, as good every week. Oh, I want to thank everybody for being here last week and during the week. I guess we had our record week. Did pretty good this week. All time highs in every field on the show.
Okay.
So thank everybody for that.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, America, for that.
Thanks, America. Is our fan on? Okay. Yep. So how's everybody doing? How was everybody's week?
Well, ladies first. I'm sorry, you're rude of me.
My week went well. I did catch up with a couple girlfriends, and one of my girlfriends actually has a baby who's going to turn 1 in November. So
Hey.
to see her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Toddlers. It's
Randy,
an adventure in itself with them.
Yeah, and it's a trip because we've been friends since high school, so you know it kind of takes me back a little bit, you know, seeing her from those days now in the motherhood, and just seeing her run here, there, and everywhere, set alarms for the baby.
Yeah. Motherhood, parenthood, motherhood is it's definitely a life altering thing, but for the better. I personally believe that it brings out the best in people when they want to gravitate to that, you know. But shout out to and congrats to that and stuff like that. Kev has a 2-month-old. Oh my gosh, like, you know, got a baby. Like, you know, I'm like,
from what I hear, they say that's when you don't really get any sleep. It's like the first, what for 2-3 months?
2-3 months, yeah. Because you want to feed the baby every 2.5 hours. So you start getting some sleep after the 3rd month, because then you can implement cereal, and at night preferably, and then the cereal can give you like an extra boost of like 2 extra hours of sleep. So it helps, you know, instead of, you know, you fell asleep at 9, you got back up at 11. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, you know. Yeah, so after the 3rd month is you could do that. And then I think in my personal experience, after 6 months, then it's like, yeah, you can kind of get back to normal with 5 and some change. Yeah, 5 and some change, you know, sleep. So but no, it does help when you're able to implement cereal bottles and things like that. So I don't miss that part. I miss them small, but not that part. Yeah, I miss them small, but not that part. I'm like, ooh.
Jamal, do you have anything to share about your weekend or week?
No, our podcast is like freaking out, so I'm trying to figure out how to get everything back going.
What else? Well, you tell us a little bit about your week, Chris.
I had a up and downer. As people that knows me personally and been following the channel, you know, I'm a nursing student, so I have the dreaded NCLEX that I am trying to conquer. So I actually took the NCLEX for my first time Tuesday, and got my results back, unfortunately. So this is kind of like for you know, my nurses and doctors or medical personnel, they you know, you say the word NCLEX, everybody goes, ugh. You know, they know, you know, what type of thing that is. It's very, very important. So by me not passing, you know, this just gives me the opportunity to still exercise some of my faiths and beliefs. I won't just share that much like that, but gives me the opportunity to exercise that and accepting the challenge, you know, and looking forward to the challenge. and going from there. So you know, I always try to determine greatness. Greatness can be determined in lots of different fashions. Of course, you can be just great naturally, and then you could be great when you're able to fall down and get yourself back up and continue to do what it is that you were supposed to do. So, you know, it's just gonna make me respect it and yeah, just respect it more when it happens. So, you know, everything that I say now is like future, you know. So I'm excited for that. So you guys will know. America, y'all will know, because the energy is gonna be ecstatic when that happens. So, and it's gonna be a wonderful thing to share when we get to that point. So look forward. Look forward to it.
Now on this test, Chris, did it tell you at least which ones you missed?
So it doesn't tell you what you missed. I haven't got the printout yet where it's showing where I was scaled. So the test changes. It alters.
Okay.
So it's not like your standardized test where it's just like the same questions over and over. And basically it scales you to keep going up, 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 up. So I'm pretty sure I was probably up and down where the computer and maybe the board was probably like, okay, he's there, but I don't know.
Right.
So that's where I believe that's how it scales you. So, and that sucks too. So it's like it gives you no way to master it, which makes sense though too.
Or to say what areas maybe you know, because you know some tests will maybe point out real clear, like, oh, maybe you needed to work a little harder in the math versus the English, or vice versa, or
yeah,
yeah.
There's certain like no brainers, like pharmacology. I know I need to work in there. I know my labs.
Mm-hmm.
I know delegation. I know prior organization. Maybe some more critical thinking.
In this way, you had how many questions altogether, and what was the duration of the test?
Well, I was there for 5 hours, and I got up. The minimum is 75. So, but it could it'll keep adding questions, because sometimes you could be there, the computer's not sure yet, so it'll keep kicking you answers, questions. I'm sorry. So I got up to 127, but and then it stopped. Then one of my friends that passed recent, his went to 141.
Okay.
And one of my friends, she went to 152, then it stopped. I think the max on the test is 205.
Oh, wow.
And the minimum is 75. If you do fantastic at 75, it'll kick you. It'll kick you at probably like 85, 90. Or 75. You do fantastic in 75, it'll kick you. And be like, okay, great. But if you do horrible in the 75, it'll kick you. And then...
yeah,
so,
just come back next time, yeah.
Yeah. So interesting test, but I've taken the NCLEX before for my CNA, so you know, I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Oh yeah, Chris.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. I think more often than not, you know, I follow a couple things on Instagram or whatever here or there, but even just talking to people, it seems like that's kind of the name of the game of life, right? Like, failure's going to come, but at what point do you utilize it to just either strive to do better, or, I mean, let's be honest, you can't blame some people for when failure comes, it really puts them down.
Yeah.
You know, so kudos to you, Chris, for, you know,
at my
have
age,
an outlook you do, because not everybody does.
Yeah, at my age, I'm kind of like you know, I did the hardest thing was to say I was going back to school at the age of 39. That was the hardest decision, period, for me.
Right, which not a lot of people do either.
And then halfway through, I failed out. And then still was able to, like, okay, pick myself up, got back in it, finished school. So school is done. That's the hardest part. Oh, God, I don't even want to take over the show and just talking about that. But, you know, school is just different from how it was when I went, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, because I graduated in 2000. So it's like being back in a classroom setting in 2021. It's like, 21 years out, you know,
Yeah.
where it was seriously like I had schooling in some college, but just say that I was full time.
A full-time student.
Yeah, like every day, Monday through Friday. Yeah, that was like a different, like oh my gosh. So
Yeah, total life change.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, definitely. So I know just with the ink class, I knew that I you know when things like this happen, it's a self-reflect. You reflect, and he's like, you know, I could have did this more, did that more, did this. So I could have dedicated some more time. But so, like I said, I'm open to the challenge. So I'm good with that. We good, Jamal? Still?
Yes, we are good. Everything is fine.
'Cause, you know, behind the scenes, I'm looking at
Yo,
them
if y'all didn't know, we just basically had a whole half system shut down. I want to shout out Randy and Chris for trying to hold that down while that was happening.
And give yourself some
it's good
kudos,
conversation.
man. You know,
Right here.
It was like a little mini plane crash. Imagine being in the plane and then like the engines cut out, and you got 4 engines and only one's working, and we like, oh snap. This is an issue right here. That's what just happened to me. That's what happened to my heart right now. That's what I was going through. So thank y'all for sticking with us through that. If you're just getting here, if it's your first time here, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so YouTube can bother you when we go online. We are America's Mind, America's favorite podcast. I'm Jamal Williams.
And
this
I am
is Christopher Barris. That's Randy K.
Hey.
And I hope you guys will stick around and enjoy the rest of the show because we have some cool stuff to talk about. Thank you guys for holding that down for a second.
Oh yeah,
I was panicking. You know how many buttons I pressed?
Yeah, you were up
watched
and
you,
around moving.
and I was like,
Yo, like-
I didn't want to ramble too much. You know, I can ramble, so I didn't want to ramble too much.
When stuff isn't working, they say like, restart it, unplug it, right?
Oh yeah,
That's the
Unplug
golden IT
everything.
rule.
I don't know what was going on. Yeah.
especially like Spectrum. Your internet's not working. They be like, they're like, yeah. So what you do? Unplug everything. It's like, wait, you know how much stuff I got connected to this thing?
Yeah, we got 3 cameras, 3 mics, lights, stuff keeping
What
the
you mean
computer
disconnect?
warm. Oh man, I was like, what keyboards,
Try to get some off that
mices.
Spectrum bill, huh, Chris?
Man, Spectrum, they the king, cause just go back there in the back, unplug this, unplug that. They be like, you're doing a hard reset, right? Like this gonna take like 10 minutes to boot up. I don't have the time.
Oh man, I'm glad we got through that. All right, so hey, let's just go ahead and get to what we want to talk about.
All right, let's do it.
And so first thing up, and our stream's running pretty good too right now. So
All right.
so apparently, not apparently, but over the last week, our dear friend Vince McMahon had to step down from his duties at WWE. Now look, this is no small feat. Vince McMahon has been the CEO, the owner of WWE for literally our entire lives. Everybody who's in here under 60. The only WWE or WWF has been ran under Vince McMahon. That's Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Undertaker, the Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels era, the Stone Cold era, the John Cena era, Randy Orton, CM Punk. Now we in Roman Reigns. This is like 40 years worth of stuff where Vince McMahon has been CEO, owner of this company. And so he's stepping down. And it's amid some allegations. We covered that on one show. I didn't feel like the allegations were serious enough for this, but the culture we live in takes things very seriously in these kind of realms. And so that's the news. Vince McMahon, owner of World Wrestling Entertainment, announces his retirement at age 77 amid a sex scandal investigation. Thoughts? Let's go with Chris first.
It's unfortunate. You know what? I like Vince. Vince, like you said, I'm a wrestling fan back for WWF when it was the Federation, and I do understand right and wrong. I do get that point, but I just feel like that at some point that why does it have to cost a man his job? You know, that's just how, you know, because clearly, I don't know Vince personally, but clearly he is passionate about this. Like with John Madden. Like Madden did broadcasting for many years. He just loved football, you know, and Vince just loved wrestling. He loved, you know, just being creative with it, all of that, you know. This is very just unfortunate, you know, that I don't want to use the word forced, but he had to come to these terms.
I'll say the word forced. I feel like he was forced out. Randy, what say you?
Yeah.
Well, Vince, if you're watching this, thank you for your many years.
I agree.
I don't know. Was it forced? I don't know, because I think eventually, maybe it was forced. But you have to reflect too, right? Once your life hits 77, like, what was the plan for the company? He already had to have certain, you know, pieces of the chess puzzle, if you will, in place to maybe, hey, he knew it was going to go to Stephanie. He knew this was going to go there. And granted,
Maybe.
you know, thank God for certain men that do, you know, if they want to spend the rest of their life till their dying day working, you know, more kudos to you. But I don't know. I just think,
I feel like he was one of those guys that wanted to spend the rest of his living days working.
I agree.
I don't think
think
he
so?
has a retirement mindset. So that's why I would say it was forced.
that eventually through the politics and suing and
like,
all that, it was
I
just
think
like,
they
I'm going to
went
hang it up.
public in 99. So once you start that phase, that was
Mm-hmm.
20 plus years ago. Once you start that phase, then you kind of left the you know, the future of your
Decision-making.
company and the decision making into the stockholders and the boards and everything. So although he was still CEO, he managed to play the game and stay in that position. There was always a chance that he could get voted out or pushed out. And I think it just came, you know, what
see.
did Joker say? Was it Joker in Dark Knight? Die and be a hero and live long enough to see yourself become a villain. I
Yeah.
think that's going to be the instance of every company. We've seen it kind of with Jeff Bezos. I think the man with the ball right now running the CEO is Elon Musk, but his time is coming too. Yeah, they already trying to. You see him throwing darts at Elon anyway.
Because this is not work. Like, this is not work. Like, today we got a new title holder. We're blowing up some stuff. Hey, we got the interference coming in from this main event. I got this special guy coming in. I got Stone Cold. He's gonna come in here. He's gonna stutter me at the end of the night. Like, everybody's gonna go ecstatic. Like, this is not work. Like, you're taking away a piece of him. Like, if that was me, I would be like, I don't know if I can say that on this network, so I'm not. But like this is a humongous blow. This is a shot in the chest for this. Because it's like, what's been keeping you relevant? Men stride off for being relevant. That's what keeps our youth, even though the reality's there. But, you know, this guy was still in shape, competing with these young bulls, you know?
All right, so as the report, Vince McMahon, Chief Executive Officer and Chairman of World Wrestling Entertainment, announced his retirement on Friday at age 77. In a tweet posted in the late afternoon, McMahon stated, so the tweet says, we have that tweet on the screen. At 77, time for me to retire. Thank you, WWE Universe, then, now, forever together. And so, you know, that's their hashtags in the company. Throughout the years, it's been a privilege to help WWE bring you joy, inspire you, thrill you, surprise you, and always entertain you, McMahon said in a corporate statement. He went on to thank his family, the current and former superstars who work for the company, and the fans for allowing the WWE into their home every week. Our global audience can take comfort in knowing WWE will continue to entertain you with the same fervor, dedication, passion as always, said McMahon. I am extremely confident in the continued success of WWE, and I leave our company in the capable hands of extraordinary group of superstars, employees, executives, in particular both chairwoman and co-CEO Stephanie McMahon and Nick co-CEO Nick Khan. So I didn't know that happened. I remember he left Stephanie with the temporary CEO. So I guess they split the job between her and Nick Khan, who I think has been executive vice president for the last few years.
He might be the lawyer.
Nah, he's been the dude right under Vince for like the last 3 years. Nick Khan. So I will continue to support WWE in any way I can. My personal thanks to the community and business partners, shareholders, and the board of directors for the guidance and support through the years. Then now forever together. All right, cool.
Hopefully him and Undertaker can have a couple drinks and enjoy retirement. You know? I mean, the old school guys are, well, granted Vince, but Undertaker wanted to retire, but you know.
Undertaker is retired.
Say again?
Undertaker's retired.
No, yeah, yeah, but my point is to say, like, the older generation of wrestlers in general are, you know, retiring as well, so it's kind of interesting to see. Especially watching wrestling these days, which I think kind of sucks these days, if you want my personal opinion, but...
You don't like the product nowadays?
Well, when we watched it the other night, I was like, what is going on here? You know? I think it's fallen off a little. But we'll see. Oh, we missed SummerSlam, didn't we?
No. I thought it was this Saturday, but it's Saturday coming up. The Saturday coming up next week. Yeah, so let us know in the chat if you enjoy WWE or if you liked it more in the earlier eras, Attitude Era, and so forth and such on. There's
so many great eras. Wow.
Yeah. I've always been a wrestling fan, so that's that.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so any last thoughts on that, Chris? I do have another topic come up. I'll get that ready.
No, I did my ranking the second go round. That's just gonna be a hard thing to just cut off. You know what I mean? You know, because if that was me with that job, that's not work. You know what I mean? That's like enjoyable like work to me, and you're like telling me I can't do it. It's like wow, like.
That is true. Like if your job is to run a wrestling company, that's kind of like
successful at that. You know,
big kid in the toy store. Like, it's like that's like a kind of just play with action figures your whole life. You just have Bret Hart and Undertaker. Like
imagine probably like the fights with his wife. Not saying that it happened, but just imagine like the fights with his wife. Where he's like, you know, I'm getting the ring next month. And she's like, Vince, no, I am. Like you're 67. I'm going in there, and then you're watching him. She's watching him work out. It's just like, oh my gosh, he's really about to go back in the ring.
Yeah,
you know.
I think personally, I've learned from my father, who's up there in age too. Man, you can't tell him nothing. His arm's like broken, but he asked me why he's still mowing the lawn.
Because we just have
to do it's it. Like you can't tell men nothing, ladies. I swear.
Because the lawn, you know, in your dad's case, the lawn is like this, like, you heard, huh? You can't do nothing, and we're like, oh yeah, watch this.
The lawn is taunting them.
You know, we gonna tie this up. Tie that arm up, and we out there. We'll show you.
I guess so.
Hilarious.
Guess so.
All right, so next topic. Let's see what we want to bring on. Oh, our dude, the nuclear physicist, is back. If you guys don't remember, a few weeks ago, we had a story where a nuclear physicist, or he was training to be a nuclear physicist or planning to be one. He was going into the military under the physicist branch, and so he went on a dating show, and the woman, you know, listened to him, said he was boring, dismissed him, super quick, super fast, got him out of that piece. And so yeah, we covered that. He came back on the show to explain what's been going on with him since then, and so we'll take a look at that.
Might move.
Hi.
You think so?
I think the jack is gonna move. Let's see.
All right.
Because if there's success, okay, I'm quiet.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you as well.
Thank you. So what's going on? Okay, I want to know everything. So you told me that you didn't even know you went viral until yesterday or the day
Because I'm
before?
busy making money.
Right. So I got home from basic about a week to 2 weeks ago, and yesterday I received a call saying that I had went viral due to the clip when I was on the Pineapple Show.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How did
So
you
yeah.
feel about that? Did you see, like, because it's been, I don't know how long ago that was, probably like 3 weeks ago or so. So how do
About
you
4 weeks.
going viral?
So, like I said, I didn't know until someone called me and told me. They heard that I was home and they were like, "Did you ever go on a dating show?" And I was like, "I don't think so." And then I remembered that I went on the Pineapple Show and I was like, yeah, actually, hold on. Wait, yes, I did. So, yeah, I ended up learning about the videos. I also learned that the girl that I had talked to ended up getting interviewed by several people. It was a huge debacle. Yeah.
For sure. So, okay, so tell me, so what do you do now? Because you told me you're not gonna be a
Right.
Is it,
So,
okay.
I went into the Navy as an enlisted under the nuclear program. While I was at basic, some circumstances came up, and I decided that I was no longer interested in the nuclear program as an enlisted. So while I was separating, I had a lieutenant commander and like a few senior chiefs, not all at the same time, but at separate times, tell me that my stats were good and that I had good military bearing, and that they recommend that I come back later as a commissioned officer. So that's the route that I plan on taking right now. I'm currently studying for it. But the surface warfare officer position that I'm going for eventually leads to commanding ships on and off times of war. So it's a pretty good position. I definitely like the idea of having my own ship. So
That sounds good. Yeah. Hell yeah. So wait, so tell me, how did you feel
All right,
about
so we'll take a freeze here. It sounds like he's moving in a different direction in his career from when the last time we heard about him. Randy, did you look up what he was talking about? Basically, his new boat job.
Oh, you mean the actual title of it?
Yeah.
No.
All right, so
No.
so he's gonna be in command of ships or whatnot. Not quite nuclear physicist, but still.
Yeah, they want him
paid.
doing war commands. Yeah, they're like, no, we need you over here, right? And probably through a bonus, salary, whatever. And because it's kind of a trip, right? How he veered from like nuclear physicist, and that's like, oh, now you're going to command warships.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like it's still in the same realm of things. Chris,
It's still a paycheck.
I already knew you were gonna say
It's
that.
still a paycheck, and this girl loses.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
they gave him 10 times more responsibility.
Right?
How much does a ship cost?
Oh,
We're talking
hundreds
about
of millions. If
we're
not
talking about
billions.
millions of dollars,
Yeah.
and you're commanding ships with weaponry, technology,
Chris was like, "I'm bringing it right back to the jacket." If
all,
you guys are not
all
familiar,
that stuff, right?
yeah, let me wrap this up real fast. If you guys are not familiar, what we do on the show is we hand out the jacket, so you can see the jacket up top. It's currently leaning towards the men's side because we had a bad week last week, ladies and gentlemen.
They did.
But I think could I do this a little bit? Can I lean it back over there like that,
That's a
Randy?
good move right
All
there.
right,
I
all right.
think it's
Let's
gonna go
see.
a little further, you know. But
Can I lean it like that a little bit? Just get it back over there a little.
so like,
Let's see. Hold
so
on.
like, so
Okay.
you're in command of ships that are worth millions of US dollars, technology worth millions of US dollars, weaponry that's worth millions of US dollars, and then to put the sprinkle on top, soldiers.
The most valuable asset,
You
right?
are in charge
Yep.
of human life now.
Right.
Not to reproduce and this and that, blah, blah, but you're responsible
Right.
of these guys. These ships can hold 200, 300 people. And the key word is ships with an S. So your job went from colossal to 2 times, 3 times colossal.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that everybody's been talking about him. Not everybody, but he was trending on the internet for a few weeks. He was viral for a minute. but he was gone. Like he didn't even know this stuff was
doesn't
happening. He does not
He's
care.
charismatic about it. He's like, well, oh yeah, I went viral. Okay, well,
Yeah, so
talk to
this,
people.
yeah, this girl swiped. Which one is positive on Tinder, y'all? Swiping left or swiping right? I don't know. I haven't been on there in forever.
Yeah, she swiped.
But she swiped
Swiped
whatever
them
the bad
off.
way is on him, like super fast. He went off, took care of his business, and now he's
As he should, and it's like, and he's gonna be like, what they're setting him up for is money for the rest of his life.
definitely. All right, so we had Val. What is it? Project Val come in. He said the Attitude Era was his favorite in WWE, and I might agree. Was it? I kind of like. You remember when like what's that era called? What?
I were playing in my headset.
Oh snap! Okay, that's my fault. I always do that. I never stop the video. It's not everybody. It's just you guys. It sucks for you guys. Yeah, whatever Attitude was right before the Attitude Era, when it was like the Heart Foundation and DX was just then starting. It was like Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and China. Like everybody else hadn't joined it yet. That's my favorite era. Like, I feel like that's like the right before the Attitude
That's
Era
like
cracked off.
2000.
Nah, that's like 96. 95, 96.
I think a little bit later than that. I think like 97, 98.
Nah, 90. See, we gonna end up talking about wrestling.
No.
97. That's around when like Bret Hart left. The Montreal screw job or whatever
right after
happened.
Bret left.
So after Bret left, I feel like that same day is the date that the Attitude Era kicked off.
So that's like the Rock era, kind of.
Nah, it's before that.
Yeah, you're right.
This is like, so right after that, we in the wrestling ring. Right after that, Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels went to WrestleMania 14, and had a match. Stone Cold won and never looked back.
Yeah,
He took off.
that's a good era, though. Yeah. The Bret Hart era, we were still young, so we didn't know how important it was. Because, like, when I look back, I'll be like, yeah, Macho Man's like one of my favorite wrestlers, you know, and stuff like that. But
So thanks, Project Val, for getting us back on wrestling. Let's leave that alone. We have moved on. He came near Randy. Randy wants to be like, yo, welcome. 3 favorite wrestlers. Now she's trying to keep the wrestling conversation. This is not a wrestling podcast, though. We just had a freak moment right there. So
but we could talk about great,
We dabble in
great
wrestling.
wrestlers,
We
you
dabble.
know. Yeah, we could give a moment, but yeah, I'm whatever you guys
Back to
want to
this young
add to the
gentleman.
video. He's
Randy.
Yes.
We'll let you have the final words. Or did you want to watch some more of the video? See what else happens with him?
Yeah, he said something about the only thing he didn't like was that she had a combative comment and then you press pause. It's like right
Oh
there.
snap! Okay,
So he has like a rebuttal.
I kind of want to hear that.
Oh yeah, let's see what's going on.
Well, that doesn't matter because I'm in nursing school. I said in the earlier interview that I had yesterday, the only issue that I had was really the fact that when I stated that I was studying nuclear physics for the Navy, that she felt, or at least we believe that she felt, that I was trying to impress her, and thus she came back with a combative, well, that doesn't matter because I'm in nursing school, which I find unattractive in women. If I say that I do something for my work, it's because I'm introducing myself in what I do. It has nothing to do with necessarily, I believe I'm better than you because I do this. It wasn't my intent. If I came off that way, I apologize. But ultimately, it was just like, I don't find it attractive at all for anyone, not just a woman, to try and one-up the other person in that manner.
Okay, so her calling you boring, you didn't really care?
Saying that I had no personality was a bit of a sting. I don't believe that I got to portray my personality at all during the Pineapple Show, mainly because the issue that I had while I was on, a lot of people noticed that I was looking away from the camera a lot. So the reason why I went on to the Pineapple Show was because I was in a call with a bunch of my friends, and I made the suggestion that one of us should go on the Pineapple Show and fuck around for a bit. So
Oh,
they
that's
were
how
like,
you guys feel about my show.
so they were like, no, Mel, we
Say
love
that
you.
again. Let's go over there.
We love you. It's not you, Mel. It was the other girl that we wanted to fuck with. It wasn't you. We love your show. You're amazing. What it was, right, was they were like, so you should do it then because you suggested it. And I was like, okay, we'll play for it. I lost, and I ended up coming on the show. So at the time, I wasn't really interested in trying to get this girl, right? Because, well, I already have a girlfriend. I've had a girlfriend for the past 2 years. So ultimately, I was just waiting for my time to get pineappled so that I could move on with whatever the fuck I was doing. So that's why I was looking around. I was just kind of like, God damn, when is this shit going to be over? I wasn't really nervous per se. As you can see, like, I'm able to talk to you pretty easily. This isn't like any,
Is he capping or is he stunning?
You know what? It sounds good.
What is he doing? Is he capping or is he stunning? He came back with a vengeance.
Well,
he came
I feel
back...
like he has to, but the one thing that I like that he said, and I love that he said this, was that it's not attractive to do a one-up when I'm introducing myself, you know, because an introduction is what? Sharing who you are.
All right, gentlemen, we got Professor Chris in the house right now. Go ahead, Professor Chris. Tell the young man how to handle these situations.
You know what? Like, my thing is like when you're conversing with someone, right, for the first time, you're looking to see if you guys can match besides just the physical, you know what I mean, intellectual, financial, all those O's and R's at the end of the words, those things, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, hey, I'm a dentist. Oh, I work at the candy store. Ooh, could that match? Because you're gonna hear me complain about cavities I'm dealing with. And you're selling candy. You're gonna be like, man, I'm trying to move this candy out. So can we match? Can we mix? You know, and he made a great point there. Like, why does somebody have to do a one up? Oh, I'm doing this. Or I'm doing that. Like, it's not a competition, sweets. We're not in competition with you. Kind of, we don't care, depending on the stature of the man, to be honest.
I mean, it's fair to say, I think the more money a dude makes, the less he cares about what his girl or wife does. Like, it only matters if she needs to be doing something, right? But if you're a millionaire guy, then you probably, like, you'll go to McDonald's and pick up a wife, and what's the difference?
Well, yeah, because guys do it too. I have a word for them I can't say on the air.
Guys do what?
Guys do that too, you know.
I'll pick up like millionaire
women are
chicks.
everything's flipped. So women are super duper successful. So then they have the rebuttal.
Ooh, can I disagree with this? I don't think guys can do that. I don't think women date down the same way men do.
Unfortunately, they are.
Yeah.
All right, so we get a lawyer woman. Like, say she making $250,000 a year. She's gonna date somebody working at McDonald's.
Yeah.
If she feels like she can change him.
Where y'all live at? Shoo.
If she feels like she can change him, she will do that. And
look at
Wow.
this.
I wouldn't even say change. I wouldn't even say
we got a
change.
comment.
Bridging the gap, talking about slide the jacket back over. Nothing even happened. What are you talking about?
Flowers to her.
What are you talking about? We should be sliding it over towards y'all side on this topic.
Flowers are for you.
But
Yeah, no. All right, so look, Chris is about to say it right now. A female lawyer making $250,000 a year is not gonna date a dude making $25,000-$30,000 at McDonald's. That's where do you see that happen at?
because
And Chris is gonna say if she thinks she can change him, she gonna try to put him through law school or something.
No, it's not that. It's to me, it's silly that women do it some, but she'll do that And these are the alpha females. These are the women that want to wear the pants in a relationship and dictate the relationship. Cause see, and then this guy is going to be submissive to her, which is, you know how I feel about that. And you see it all the time. And because remember what I said earlier, if a man is trying to obtain his goals, he's broken because he's not complete till he accomplishes this, right? So this guy's broken, and then a woman, unfortunately, oh, well, let me sprinkle myself on him to fix him. And that's what some of these women will do. It's a big stretch on maybe McDonald's worker versus a lawyer, but she would consider somebody in the law firm office.
But that's what I mean. It's a big stretch for a woman, but not a male. A dude who's a lawyer making $250 will date a woman who doesn't do anything and not look at, like, not even check for anything.
Because like I almost wish that I could do a statistic, but people are not going to do it because it's going to look bad. Like how many women got a man at home that don't do nothing? When I mean don't do nothing, don't work.
I think
They don't
that's
bring
like,
no income, and you'll be surprised.
I don't think it's a lot.
Ooh.
I think we grew up in a space where it might be more than general America, but I think in like,
But it varies. I'll speak for my field of work, nursing, that like women are like 5 to 1. Men are better nurses. I'm not trying to sound like that.
yeah, but like
We're better nurses, but they're not men nurses going out there. When I fill out these jobs and when I'm at school and when I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm seeing these dudes drop their girl off. I see it too often. At work, I'm seeing these guys drop their women off, and I'm like this. If he's busy doing X, Y, and Z, he don't have time to pick her up and drop her off. That's a job in itself. Like, parents pick up their kids and drop them off at school. That's part of their job. So I'm like, so you telling me, bro, that you're working 10 hours, and in these 10 hours, you got enough time to drop your wife off or girlfriend off at work, work your 10 hours, and then come back on time to pick her up.
But I think you
There's no
live
way
in
that you're working
a
then.
super small subset of people dating. Like we can come from Inglewood or wherever and say that, but like once we go to these suburban towns or rural towns, that's not like a normal thing where the women are out doing something and when you go to like when you go to Orange County, do you think that's the typical thing?
No, I won't say it's typical at all like that, but
Yeah,
the,
so it's
but the
kinda-
number's bigger than what it should be.
All right, well, we can agree with that, but I don't think the number is big.
Yeah, I
We
think
can agree with that. The number is bigger than it should be. I don't think it's common.
it's
I give it like an 85%.
85% is pretty high.
Well,
he
no,
said
what I'm saying,
85
85% on my way.
Oh,
and
Yeah, on my way.
15%. And you
No, I
could be
disagree.
right. I mean, it's hard to determine the scale on that, and I can only base my thing off of what I see.
And this is and
Right.
still I'm gonna be right, because look, the way that you're even talking about this situation is you're talking about it as it's abnormal, right?
Mhm.
So that fits my point. So if you have a woman making $250,000 and say her boyfriend or her husband doesn't do anything, he drops her off at work and picks her up from work. Now, so you're like, oh, I see that too much. It's that number of that thing happening is too high, which proves what I'm saying, that when a man is making 250,000 and say he has a wife that picks him or drops him off and picks him up from work, nobody's batting eyelashes, because that's supposed to be normal.
I would. Well, I don't know.
I'm right. I'm
I-
right either way. Either the woman is making 250 and dating a dude who doesn't do anything, and you're like, okay, or you think that's weird because when the dude does it, it's normal.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, just for me,
It is why bridging the gap. Why you have so many corporate women dating felons? You don't. Like, I've never seen this in my life.
I'm like, well,
that's an
That's
extreme
TV.
example.
You're talking about reality shows. That's not a real thing.
but I'm like, my rebuttal is that why is it even existing? Just for the fact, if I got 1,000 people and 100 people do that, which is 10%, it's still like a big deal to me how I look at it, because it's like it should be zero. It should be a no-brainer to me. That's how I'm looking at it.
Well, women want to compete in like in the
just
corporate world
to
or
put
whatever.
themselves in that predicament.
In what predicament?
I'm just saying, just to like, you making 250,000 and then you're going after a guy that can barely bring home 10.
Well, all right. Statistically, this is what's gonna happen. If you're gonna make 250,000 in America, then only 10% of people are there with you. 10% of men are there with you. So if you're gonna be a woman who's in the 10%, then what you're saying is statistically you're gonna have to date 10% of the men to even get close to what you're doing, and that's impossible. They all can't do it.
Yeah, I might. Yeah, I might. Everything you're saying is correct.
It would be impossible for a man. If a man makes 250, and we would be like, he has to date a woman getting close to his pay grade. He can't do it. It's impossible.
Yeah,
but we don't even try to do it. We're like, whatever.
Because it's just, to me, it just seems like that, like that some women just give it a chance, and that's my challenge. It's just that I feel like it should be zero.
I don't know about the image to uphold, but I don't know about the trophy wife either. Like, I think you're putting a negative spin on this. I think a man who makes that much wants to deal with a certain type of woman. Like, he doesn't want her working because he's doing so much that when he gets home, he doesn't want to worry about everything that, that has to be taken care of. He doesn't want to worry about dinner. He doesn't have to worry about where his kids have been all day and who took care of them. So he just wants an extra layer there. He wants a traditional wife that can hold him to the level he's putting in at work. He wants he wants the wife that puts in that same level at home, that he doesn't have to worry about that thing. Like the image and the trophy. Yes, those are aspects of men who make that much. Like, sure. The more you make as a man, the more options you have. You'll probably go after a wife that looks a certain way, but I don't think I also think that stereotype is a TV thing too, where you have like the blonde who can't do shit, she can't cook, like she doesn't take care of the kids, she's usually the stepmom. I don't think that's realistic either. I think that's just a TV prop.
No, I agree, but
I think if a dude's usually a doctor making 500,000, and the wife is usually doing yoga and shit in super shape, taking care of the kids, cooking meals, and doing everything that he needs her to do, and that's how they get by, and he's able to work 16 hours a day and be successful because she takes care of everything that he can't take care of. That's my opinion.
I don't know. I might, yeah. Like I said,
I agree with Shelby Stewart. Not control, respect, loyalty. That's what he expects, and to contribute. Yeah, that's what he expects her to contribute. It's not like, I think Bridging the Gap's putting a negative spin on it to say it's an image thing. Like he needs to look a certain way, or he wants just a trophy wife and power and control.
I'm like if he's if a man is making if he's in that top 10% and he knows it, then yeah, I think that he will go after something flawless, because you're on that pedestal. You're at you're at that eyeball. Like the just with the Vince thing, right? Like if she was like below average and like whatever, like we would destroy him, because we were like, dude, you effed over billions for that, like average, like, you know what I mean? So like, I know that this woman that he was probably dealing with, she has to be knocked down because it was a scale, you know what I mean?
So Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he did that whole fiasco and getting the maid pregnant, you think she was...
He just got caught up in some silliness.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah,
that
I don't think
and
that's
that was
the
a
case.
humongous punch.
Yeah, he
that
had it
he
too
couldn't
close
block.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, because where's Arnold now? No shot to him. But
Well, I don't know. Did his wife leave him? I think she stayed
Yeah,
with
she
him.
left him.
Did she?
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
Maria Shriver, she's a Kennedy offspring.
Yeah.
yeah, like
Drop Dead Gorgeous, right?
It's a huge shot. You know what I mean? That was just one of them things like the old saying, hand in the cookie jar, I hope I don't get caught. In my opinion. But okay, but we're stuck on this one. I'm done.
Bridging the Gap, it says, what's up with the reality TV comments? So I keep bringing that up is because I think a lot of people in culture in general today, I was going to pinpoint men, but I think it's cultural at this point. We think like these reality TV tropes that go on, like things that happen. Reality TV is scripted, just like any other show. So like I've talked to people and they start using these figures in reality TV as you know, edge cases of, oh, this happened to this person, this happened to that person. I'd be like, all that shit is fake. So when I'm saying when I'm bringing up reality TV, that's how I'm propping it up. Like, you're bringing up an edge case that's fake. That doesn't happen in real life. Like, it's not usual anyway. Like if you, for instance, if we just went and did a census and just start going to doctors' houses and we're like, yo, could we see your wife? Could we see what she does? It's not going to be this blonde trophy wife that comes out 90% of the time. Half of them might be, but it's going to be regular chicks that come out. Like regular girl next door women who just
Holding it down.
Held them down.
Well,
Daniel Newton, to each their own though. Some men and women were raised different. If you have kids, she may want to stay at home to homeschool. I think if you gave women the option, like, all right, so if you were like, in this hand, you and your husband can work and you'll make a decent living. You say y'all together, y'all make $250,000, right? And then you say in this hand, you stay at home and your husband makes $250,000 and you just take care of the home and raise the kids. I think 95% of the time they're going to choose to stay at home and raise the kids. If you ask me, maybe, maybe I'm wrong. Who knows?
I believe a majority, a vast majority, but that kind of falls under like an old school woman or a culture based woman that's more structured. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that Americanized women are not structured, but they don't follow, or most of them aren't practicing. That's the word I want to use. Are not practicing certain values. They're all over the place. So then it's hard for them to look at a bigger picture of, because a lot of them go, I want to stay at home and meet these kids. I want to work and be able to do what I want to do because he ain't gonna tell me what to do. You know what I mean? And so, that it still might be majority, but it's gonna be close. And I feel like it shouldn't be that close about certain things.
I think it. Not all right. So the example I gave out was $250,000. I don't think at that level that any woman is saying, I want to work. You're not gonna tell me what to do.
Well, I
think that whole discussion is gone. Well, that might happen like at 60, 70, but not at $250,000.
But a woman's rebuttal could be, well, what do I have to do to receive this $250,000?
They already know.
Well, that's what they see.
They might run from that,
and that's what they'll be like. Well, I don't want the $250,000 if I gotta be held down to this standard.
All right, yeah, you might be right about that. They might run from that. Yeah. But
so here's the thing. Let me bring up Mr. Kevin Samuels. Recipes to him.
Here you go.
He said so eloquently within his days that us ladies were brought up from previous generations of women who fell under that realm of being raised traditional, right? Men brings home the bacon, you take care of XYZ in the home. But from those women, they were telling us growing up, there are two kinds of men in this world. One, that yes, he will earn money, but he will also keep in mind your hobbies or your passions or your interests. The second type of man is straight up controlling. So, to prevent that, ladies, because you don't know which one you're going to get, you pursue your education, you make sure you get X amount of income, and then once you get that, then it doesn't matter whether the dude leaves or stays.
Yes, a safety net. It's a good
Safety net, right? So I do see from the aspect of there's two kinds of men out there. That one, yeah, some are controlling and would just like to say, hey, I'm going to control finances, this, and that. But if he doesn't spin it to where you can see and through his actions, it's for the betterment of your family and your children versus just a betterment for himself. Because, hey, he could take that money and go spend it all in a side chick. And then it's like, oh, he blew our housing payment on some side chick. Because he wanted to be fully in control for whatever his purpose or his reason was. So, that's to say, for every 5 win, what did you say, 5 to 1?
Yeah.
Right. So that's why it's saddening when that outlook has been so implemented, going back to this nuclear physicist dude, that women do see it as, like, you guys as our competition. It's like, well, why did he present, hey, I'm a nuclear physicist, and she just bulldozed that and said, well, I'm in nursing, like, who cares what you do? So that's where we're failing, is that it was so implemented on these two kinds of men that are out there in this world, and that sometimes we just approach it as, oh, he's controlling, or hey, my bag's bigger, or my purpose is bigger than yours. But it's out there, gentlemen. Like, thankfully, you gentlemen don't fall in the realm of being just fully in control. You know what I mean? And I think partly is because you guys have daughters, but, you know, it is what it is.
I agree with Shelby Stewart labels this. Women can choose, but women have a natural path just like a man. So yeah, I think they can choose to go out. They can choose to go out and become a lawyer and make $250,000 a year. But see, I think what women do is they go out and do that, and then they expect their reward to be a man who makes $250,000 a year. Just like Chris was, even Chris's expectation of that situation is, why doesn't she have a dude bring it, or, dropping her off at work or picking her up from work that makes $250,000? Like, even as a man, you couldn't conceive that this woman would be with a dude who's not earning as much. But on the opposite end, you can find dudes with women like that. So there. Like I always say, there's not a double standard. There's a difference. And men are going to look at it a certain way, and then women are going to look at it that same way, but they won't admit it.
My hands are up. No, I understand that. I'm like, yeah, I have no more to say on it. I'm like, it's gonna be, it's always gonna be a gray area, and that's where the gray area of rebels come in between.
I kind of disagree with what Randy said too. This is why it's a short thing. I think the word controlling automatically has a negative connotation. I don't think there's anything wrong with being controlling. Like, so it's like society asks men to be leaders, but then they also ask men to be sensitive. And sometimes those two things don't go together. Like, if you're gonna lead the household, if you're gonna lead communities, if you're gonna lead society, that leadership comes with being in control. It comes with being controlling. It comes with being in control of your wife or your kids. And not necessarily making them slaves, but you saying, look, look, we doing this right now. So I need you to do that. I need you to move like this. It comes with you divvying out a path and them following the path. So if you call that controlling, then I think that kind of control is necessary.
You're absolutely right, but it's like a snippet of a thin line, because controlling, in my opinion, is obsessiveness. Because a person that does that can't control it. They can't control the controlling because they're obsessed with dictating.
That's an assumption.
How things go. No, I'm like, that's because most people that are controlling don't even know that they are. When they're challenged, or if it's brought to their attention, hey, you're kind of controlling, kind of combative, kind of little this and that. They're like, hey, what? Nah, not me. Like, no, and you know.
Right.
It's true, because it's also kind of like the same person. Even if you want to exchange dialogue with them, you could say, "Oh, you know what? How about this?" You know, if their stance is always the purpose of being right, you know, there's nothing else you can tell somebody
About certain people that I know
who always just need to be right.
I'm joking.
It's out there. It's out there.
I'm just joking.
It's out there, though. Some people that just always need to be right. You know, it's sad.
We can make this the main topic one day. We come back to
What
this.
will be the topic's name?
I don't even know. What?
Needing, I don't know.
Because I wholly disagree.
Jeez.
I don't know. We'll think of something.
All right.
All right,
No
so
taken.
should we move on?
Yeah,
Let's go
move
through some
on.
topics real fast.
Because you know we be stuck, and then they're like, they said there's 6, they only on 3.
All right, Daniel Newton. Wait. So Bridging the Gap says, "Go, Randy." She liked what Randy was talking about.
Oh yeah, Bridget.
Daniel says, "What about the ones who are controlling in some aspects and allow you to be controlling on some aspects?" So I guess who share control is many variations of all of these traits. Yeah, I like that. See,
Yeah,
I
well
think,
said.
yeah,
Well said. First, yeah, some things, you know.
but look, I think that fits with this too. Like, so women can choose, but women have a natural path, just like men. So men are gonna control the men path. Women are gonna control the woman path. I'm fine with that. That's fine.
No, I agree with. I love all the comments, and I love all the even the rebuttal in here. You know, like everyone's right. There's no wrong.
Yeah,
answer
everybody's
here,
right.
You know,
We're just sharing
and
opinions.
things like that. Like,
We're not debating. We just having discussions.
wait,
Nobody's right or
what
wrong.
was this right here?
Shelby, I don't know what you meant that you disagreed on. Maybe you can tell us. We're gonna get to that. Let me see. Daniel says you can be a lawyer from home as well. I dated a whole doctor while I was in tech school and a few baller nurses. I thought that was hilarious. Hey, but he in tech school. He finna make that bang now. What do you do, Daniel? What are you
He's,
in data or
I don't want to put
software
I don't-
engineering or what?
I know what he does, but I get his permission. Or if he
Daniel's like
wants
hashtag learn the code. Anyway,
to- no, I know what he does.
bridging the gap.
Okay,
We're
Daniel.
like cybersecurity.
No,
You don't have to say. If he wants to let us
he's
know,
in the
he'll
medical
know.
field. I'll say that much.
Okay. Bridging the Gap says leading is part of understanding strengths of team. Controlling is changing the behavior and aspects to fit an agenda. All
Well
right.
said.
Well,
I'm not
Well
going
said.
there with her at all.
I'm
that's
with
not. That's
that
not.
mind is too strong for me.
Yeah, that's
I
not how I.
talked to her on the phone.
That's not how I relate to controlling. Once
in
you
on
say
that call.
controlling is changing, I feel like that's kind of abusive. I'm not talking about to changing anybody. If you're going to be a controlling husband, you have to marry that woman who you want to control already. You can't build her. Like Chris talks about this a lot, just the other way, that the women who try to build the men, right? Mm-hmm. Right. I think it's the same way. Like I don't think you can build a wife.
You
You,
know
have to
what's-
find one.
Sidebar, what's this is so funny about the English language is that it's just like you can alter so many words because I could just change that word changing and put altered, substitute that, and it'll change the complexity of the whole
Right. Like if you just take away the negative, I'm
Well
telling
said,
you, she
Chris.
be throwing negative connotation
No,
on
but
stuff.
I just was like, man, English
If you say
language is just such a
controlling is
funny
altering-
language.
Controlling.
Like,
Yeah, I see you,
I wonder
Shelby.
if other culture
Yeah.
languages are like direct. You know what I mean? Because
pretty sure.
our stuff is like, you know, like you got so many contradictive words that contradict each other. You know,
Control means master. Have you seen? I don't know, yo. Y'all putting too
I
much on
seen
the
it. We
word.
ain't gonna
Y'all
be
putting
stuck
too
here.
much on the word.
we are going to be right here.
Nah, we moving on. I've been texting so far.
People out there in the chat.
Oh, he's a surgical tech. Oh, shoot.
Yeah,
Daniel
they-
making. Hey, Daniel, let me hold $5 real fast. Well, hey, you know we got a tip link in the description.
Yeah, shout out to my man. You know what I'm saying? Daniel's excellent
shout
guy,
out
great
Daniel.
father, great guy. You know, just does awesome things. You know what I mean? And he sees a lot of stuff. I got the privilege to see an open heart, and for Daniel, he probably sees that every day. Or
I keep agreeing with Shelby.
Easy money, you know.
Thank you, Daniel.
Shelby again says I disagree because women choose to be controlled or to be Miss Alpha. That's what I'm saying. You if you get married, you're not a slave. You, especially in America, you have the option to get divorced any day you want to. Like control and slavery. Get that. I don't like that analogy. Get that out of here.
I have something.
Slaves couldn't divorce their plantation
for people
and take half of their money.
That's what I meant to say. Like, we would love to come back to this topic, so please, a name of the topic is suggested. Like, we're open to that. Because I think this could be a great main topic here.
Oh, easy.
You know what I mean?
Hi.
Hi.
Yes, it's a heavy topic. We'll be there all day if we.
Yeah, the birds and the bees is always a great just.
Chris, like I'm on a schedule. I think we should just skip to our main then. Let me see where we are.
What was the other stuff?
Well, I know you on a time limit.
I might. Yeah, we're gonna act like I don't see that, but I hear you.
All right, so that's.
I'm like. I got flex time, kinda. But I could leave. Y'all could run it. You
Considering
know.
traffic, you want to look at traffic?
What's the most humbling experience you've ever had?
You want to skip that or go over that?
Which one is that one?
That's the one you proposed in the Instagram.
So the guy.
What's the most humbling?
Because that slides your jacket over.
Oh, so you want to go with that because it slides the jacket over?
Yeah, slide your jacket over.
On that. Okay.
Comments are encouraged on this one, ladies. This doesn't look good for you guys, but. This, you know, I'm done with the dessert added incentives. I'll allow it to play.
All right.
Without a question, that would be waking up in the hospital after being married 28 years and your wife's gone. She run off with another man. I was in there for back surgery, but I didn't know she was already seeing someone else, and it was a shock. It was something I wasn't aware of. I even had an imagination that would happen after being married 28 years. That wasn't the bad part. It's just being blindsided and not realizing the groundwork that was being taken place. She was getting a post office box and selling my house. And I went from having a house on the golf course, a house at the beach at Gulf Shores, to no house at all. And basically the Alabama lawyer put me on the street without just anything that I worked all my life for, and now I'm 68. And, you know, I wish I'd made better plans. It reminds me of somebody told me one time, save money so money can save you. I didn't make any preparations at all for that. If anybody's watching this that can learn from my mistake, I hope they do.
Yeah. You can't make this shit up, people.
There he goes.
You cannot make this shit up.
Mm-hmm.
This is on Kevin's part.
Personally, I have nothing against him personally. He's a new age thinker. He lives in the new think, the idea that.
All right, so
what's the most humbling experience you've ever had?
Back on that topic, Randy. We'll let you go first since we're obviously trying to scoot the jacket over. We'll let you play defense.
Oh, me first?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first, it's horrible that this has happened to him. And it's horrible that we're now at a place where people just can't get married, and you have to think of, okay, well, what's included in the prenup? Because when he says something like, oh, he should have planned better, yeah, it's just really sad. And I also think, to add on to the sadness of it, is people don't have the guts these days. So let's say she was seeing this dude behind his back for so many years or whatever. At what point are you just upfront and honest with somebody that, hey, I don't love you anymore and I'm going to bounce out? And if she was in it because her mission was greed and she knew if she stayed a little longer till his surgery and then bounce with money, my favorite saying is just let God sort her out and all best to the man.
Mm. Christopher, this is a subject you brought up, so I know you got a mouthful. I'm gonna let you have the floor for as long as you want.
This is in my opinion, this is like every man's nightmare. So this is the problem that I have with this particular video, and this is the problem that I have in the direction on how relationships are perceived now, because everything is pushed on status of what you do financially versus actual love and compassion for the person.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it really sucks because I don't think that men do this. It's not common. It's more common for females to do this, and I hate to taboo certain women that do this, but it sucks, and it's like you're starting to see it happen more and more because more information is getting brought out, more tools is being brought out, more links, more things is being brought out to exercise and implement doing something like this. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the part that saddens me, and then it saddens me that women are gravitated to this. Certain women, I'll say, you know, to do this, like what Bridget Gap is saying, like, she's just waiting on her moment, and that's why I feel like in relationships, I understand that status and things like that are important. Stability is important. All of these things are important, but I feel like it shouldn't be like on the list so high that that's all it is that. So it's like, because things happen. We live in corporate America, and who does corporate America care about? Nobody. So it's like, at the end of the day, like, Daniel's a surgical tech, I'm a nurse, and it's like, we don't plan to come into our job and lose it. I don't think any person comes to their job to plan to lose it. But you telling me if I lose my job because of my status of how I am at work, that means that I lose everything. So at this point, this guy was vulnerable. He was in a vulnerable spot because of back surgery. I'm sure the surgeon was like this. He could walk. He may not walk. So she was like, I don't even want to deal with it. Right. So she took that opportunity to leave. And that's disgusting. You know what I mean? Because it was a vulnerable moment. And how many men have we seen? We don't hear about it. Or how many men, like in Vince's case, forced out. Now, you're not that billionaire status no more. You're not that face of that company no more. You're not that it guy no more. You're not relevant no more. So does this mean now that I lose my family? Does this mean that I lose everything that I work hard for? Does this mean every man's nightmare, lose my respect? Because men is built off of respect after money. You know what I'm saying? We don't care about the money. The money comes with it. But when your wife, your children, people outside the street talk to you and down talk you like that, you want to really do something to them because now you want to prove your point. You know, so I'm done, but that's very unfortunate thing. I hate that women are doing things like this. I hate it. I don't like it at all.
I pretty much agree with everything you said on that. No pushback. So Daniel says, he got. I blame the system. Bridget the Gap says, wife was waiting on her moment. She's like, what day is your back surgery, honey? All right.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. There's tools, there's resources, there's other things that are available to help that situation instead of just following the quotes of death do us part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Daniel says, fact. She probably played her role too, up until he got put in the hospital.
I don't even think that. See, this is where I know that he was dedicated, because what's the first thing that he said? He didn't give a dang about that money. He didn't care about that house or nothing. After 28 years, when I got up, my wife is not here.
All right.
Like, that's all he cared about. Like, at the end of the day, like, this was my ride or die. Like in Titanic, when them two old people died in the movie, it was like, cool, we gonna lay here side by side and we gonna go through this together. And at the end of the day, I that's what I want. You know?
Right.
That's what I want, and things aren't built on that no more.
Daniel again, she set everything up before she left though. Left one was 0. Damn. Oh, was that in the video? She took all the cheese too?
She took a
cleared the
chunk.
bank
She
accounts.
but
Oh my
he
God.
was left with nothing because he
Oh my
said,
God.
yeah, it sounded like he was a millionaire status because he's talking about golf course on the house. So it sounded like he was making a pretty good amount, and it just sounds like she had access to everything.
I mean, so ladies and gentlemen, does that mean we could scoot this over like this?
Sadly, unfortunately, I hate that it's being slid over. But
How
yes.
like Chris? How much can we scoot it over?
It's good right there.
Right there. All right.
Wait, let's see.
Randy said, wait, hold on.
Like Randy said,
no,
y'all still winning.
Bridget.
Y'all still got it.
Bridging the
I
gap,
don't
how
think
far
we
did it
gonna
go?
get it. I don't think we gonna get it back.
Bring the chain game out.
Hey, one last opinion on that. I don't know how to feel about that, but what's the opinion? Women want to look strong with their man and leave because they are weak at that moment. So I think he's saying that women want to look strong with their men, but leave when the men
No.
are weak in the moment.
I agree, but I disagree. What is her natural order? What does women do naturally? They what? Nurture.
Mm-hmm.
So she's denying her natural order.
True.
You know what I mean? God forbid you got stabbed right now. She don't know nothing.
Yeah,
Your wife is gonna be grabbing everything to banish you up because that's just what women do. Women just take care of things on the fly when it comes to bodily harm and things like that. That's why they're excellent with children, because when kids cry, we don't know what they're crying about. But a woman got a checklist, so she's like, okay.
I think bridging the gap wrong with here, right? Is not wrong. I think she's right here. He said he married her at about 40, right? He probably had a younger woman, because I was thinking she had to be younger. Because like, what kind of old woman leaves her old dude for?
She wants that jacket slid over back to the man's, and I'm almost in agreement.
So I think we
There we
leave
go.
it there
There
because
we go.
you know what you signed up for.
Well, we don't know the details though. I agree. Look, we don't know the details, so we can't say that for sure she was young.
I'm not dealing with that mind.
We can't say for sure she was young, but that's the first thing I thought too. Like, she had to be younger,
absolutely.
Too. Like sugar daddy go down. She like, ooh, let me start picking up all the money and running out the room.
I'm like, I just like, my God, like 0? Like, you know what I mean? I'd have left him something. You know what I mean? Like, but never mind.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done.
That's definitely not something I'm gonna put on all women. I think that's the special kind of scandalous ones right there.
That's why
We not sliding it back.
That's why the jacket slid a little.
You got a
bit.
point, but we not sliding it back because we don't have the facts. If we had the facts, I might give you a little slide back.
All right. I'm ready for the main agenda, I guess.
Yeah, that's what we'll do right now. We're moving on. But before we do that, listen, y'all. If you're here for the first time or you have not done this yet, please like, share, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification button so YouTube can bother you when we go on. We're usually here every Sunday. This is America's Mind, America's favorite podcast. I'm Jamal Williams.
Christopher Barris.
Randy.
Hey, Randy. She just throws up the peace sign.
Gotta get the peace out there.
Oh, E's here. Hi.
I gotta start it off.
Oh, E's here.
What's the most humbling experience?
Personally, I have nothing against him personally.
Are we right there?
He
Oh, shoot, I messed it up again.
Oh, E's here. Hi.
What's the most humbling experience?
Personally, I have nothing against him personally.
All right, so here's our main topic. We touched on this last week. This is where it started. So last week we had a guy. His name was XQC. He was debating with the gentleman without the shirt in the lower left-hand corner, and they were basically talking about whose job it is to protect in this situation. The other guy went back and forth about what if his girl is a better shot? What if she an MMA fighter? What if? but here in America's Mind, we came to the conclusion that it should be the male. The male should be the protector in the household when somebody break the door down, shot out the window, or whatever, right? Even though they disagreed. So we had this other guy who's coming in to, this is, I guess, days later. The guy with the long hair and the beard in the lower right-hand corner. His name is Hasan Piker. Some people might know him if they're a little political, but I think most of us might be either too old or just not in the realm that he deals with. So they basically continue the conversation. We'll let that play out and see what they're talking about.
He's a new age thinker. He lives in the new think, the idea that
What is a
the
new
way
think?
the world runs and has always run is a bad thing, and that if we change everything from the ground up, it's somehow going to become a magically better place. Obviously, he has no proof or any references for his way of thinking because it's never been tested before. It's an untested theory. I think that for him to come along and say such blanket statements that if we changed all the world leaders to women, there wouldn't be war is inane and asinine. I think for him to say that a man who's physically strong can't be mentally strong is also stupid. But I also understand why he's saying the ideas he's saying, because he has a natural insecurity based on the fact that he's not a physical specimen of man, and the way he gets around it is to pretend that that's not important, which is fine. Lots of people do it, right? Stupid people saying being smart is not important. Poor people saying being rich is not important. It's a common defense mechanism that everybody does, and I
like
completely
this
understand
guy.
it. However, most people with a basic grasp of economics and the way societies work would look at society and say, you know what? A society with brave, strong men who are full of honor and duty is actually a better society than men who walk around saying, I have no duty to protect anybody or protect anything, and I can just sit around and cry all
What
day."
country is that?
And this theory is being tested in real time, right? America's quickly
Yeah,
turning
would
into
you
the
ask?
latter.
What country is that? Well, he just said that men stand around and do nothing, and the world and it's running better.
I don't know what country that is. We haven't seen that happen. I seen it happen in the movie Wonder Woman, where they have the Amazonians, but that's the only place.
And we can see crime rates going through the roof. We can see all the fucking school shooting and all this stupid shit that's happening because men have no emotional control anymore. And that's what's going to happen. Is because society's going to degrade, and the countries where men still stick to their honor and their age-old expected ways of acting, are there going to be a safer societies overall. So time will prove me right, but I have nothing against the guy. He's fine.
I think Andrew and the previous person that was on the call are just two sides of the same coin. They're both wrong, and they're both kind of right in different ways. But thinking that this has anything to do with gender is silly.
Then what are we dealing with?
It has nothing to do with gender. Women can be just as oppressive and as brutal as men can be. Ultimately, it has everything to do with capitalism, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the gender. The assumption that women are going to be like hysterical across the board, that kind of generalization, is just incorrect. And that's why, Andrew, I've seen some of your work as you're doing the rounds on Twitch here. And a lot of the things that you said that you've been called out on, specifically in regards to like women driving, as a matter of fact, are just generally untrue. There's no empirical evidence to back up those claims, which is why you resort to anecdotes quite frequently and say things like, oh, well, it's just common sense, right? But it's not technically common sense. It's just your personal opinion.
Completely. It's my personal opinion based on my personal biases of my life experience. Now, when I say these, exactly. And when I say these things, X amount of people agree with me and X amount of people disagree with me. That's fine, and that's the same of nearly any statement in the world.
Okay,
I can say the world is round, and there'll be a percentage of people who disagree.
That's normal.
That's totally and utterly fine. I come on here and talk about my own personal experiences, and my experiences, men are better drivers than women. I'm not saying there's no good female drivers. I'm not saying a female can't.
No. You're misunderstanding what I'm saying. There is a truth, and then there is your own personal experiences backed by anecdotes, right? Or your own personal opinion backed by anecdotes from your own personal experiences. Now, your own personal experiences are oftentimes going to be incorrect and not close to the reality. That's why there's an entire field of statistical analysis. That's why we do empirical. That's why we rely on empirical evidence when we're making decisions. Why? Because we all carry a bunch of personal biases. And when we analyze situations, we do not have enough scope to grasp the entirety of the situation. We cannot comprehend it with our human brains.
Listen,
which is why when it comes to women driving, it's a funny point.
You want to cut it there for some initial thoughts? I kind of get what they're going back and forth about, which I just pulled up some stats about that too. So, but I'll bring that later after thoughts.
Guy without the shirt has great points. This gentleman,
I like that he's referred to as the guy without the shirt.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
It's shirts versus skins.
Yeah, I don't know his name, so I don't want to disrespect him. Maybe but the guy
Andrew Tate.
So this particular person is like, I'll use this as a reference to like this particular person it's like analytics in basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like basketball is ran off of analytics. So, if this person on the floor for this minute time, they could average this. Is all the scientific equations of how the game could be played, should be played. Maybe it'll play out that way, but it's a little bit more technical, a little bit more difficult, a little bit more realistic than you just to add up some numbers and say that if this guy gets 20 shots, he should make 8, and then this will equate to this many points, and then this will be an average of 82 games, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? So this thing that this guy is doing by trying to use statistical numbers, I do the stat game too, but in some cases, stats aren't gonna just play out correctly, because what this guy is basically.
It's funny you said that, because I just pulled up why they don't. Like he's right about the stats, but they're not a complete picture.
Yeah, and it won't be.
We could bring that up right now.
Right, because there's a difference, right, between anecdotal data sets and like empirical data sets. Anecdotal's more like, I think of like also infomercials even. Oh, buy this pill or drink this drink and you're going to lose 10 pounds and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, but where did they gather their data set from? Did they just pick 10 people that were in shape to then promote their product? You know what I mean? So
yeah, and
people need to learn what kind of data they're dealing with.
No, absolutely.
Right.
And what this guy is basically, he's basing the gentleman without the shirt, I don't know his name, apologize for that. What he's basing things off of is just the raw essence of what it is versus what it could be, what it could flex to be, what it maybe appears to be. Like the same thing, like when I was training for the NCLEX and things like that, and like all the instructors is like, read the question for what it is. If it says normal vital signs, stop trying to say, well, maybe it'll go up because they're challenged with this. No, what it says is what it is. And that's what he's basing things off of. And there's people that try to do the rebuttal. Well, what about this? Well, what about that scenario? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I'm gonna tell you a way that
it's playing if you don't hear, Jamal.
I don't hear it. I always do that to y'all. That's the second time.
Nah, no worries. Welcome to the show, y'all. That's what we do.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Welcome to the show. All right, so look, this is just Google, right? This is from Malman Law. So it's just a general statistic. So the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reports that men cause an average of 6.1 million accidents per year in the U.S. and women cause 4.4 million accidents per year. So that's saying that men get in more accidents, right? Men have more accidents than women. But then you have to, like, how do you analyze that data? What does that mean? Does it mean that men have more accidents than women? Yeah, like, yes, by numbers they do. But then the study also says men do 62% of the driving.
Oh, and then women do the remaining.
Right. So males do 62% of the driving, but only cause 58% of the accidents. So women do cause slightly more accidents per capita. So men cause more accidents, women cause less accidents, but men drive
like 12% more.
Way more than 20% more than half of the time, and cause less than they drive 62% of the time and only cause 58% of the accidents. So per capita, if you want to average it out, men cause less accidents, right? So yes, you can look at his statistics the way he presented it and say men cause more accidents, period. But then once you analyze the rest of the stuff that goes on in that database.
Well, yeah, and like what I was talking to your wife.
A lot of people don't like per capita arguments either, especially
and like what I was explaining to your wife earlier with that argument. I'm just going off of just what I would probably do. The reason why that number is higher to men, because men want their car fixed. You know what I mean? Like, they want their car fixed versus, well, I got some here and there's, and I'm not trying to say that women are terrible at driving and stuff like that, but women have men that will fix their car. So they don't have to go that route in some cases, not all. You know what I mean?
That's an anecdotal argument, but just so it's clear, just so it's clear what you're saying. You're saying that women, if a man and a woman gets in an accident, the man files insurance more likely.
Yeah.
And the woman gets her.
She's gonna get it fixed.
I'm just
somewhere else.
I'm just seeing if you're.
Because my thing, like,
getting clear on the argument.
we do something simple. Like, hey, y'all in the chat comment. If your mirror gets knocked off, what are you gonna do? Men,
ladies, you better get
are
that
gonna
fixed.
we're gonna go through our insurance because we want the authentic mirror. We don't want a substitute. I want it the same color. I want the blinker indicator. I want the sensor. I don't want no rinky dink. A woman may do this. Well, my dad said he could put it on. Or this guy that works here that could do it, or this guy likes me, he could do it. So she could shortcut it, maybe get the mirror fixed for free. Maybe.
Ooh, Chris, what do you think about this comment from this is Shelby Stewart again? Because men are barbaric, they have no fear, but women are frightened, so they take caution. Sounds logical to me. He said men are more risky drivers, basically.
But I like the word you
like the word barbaric.
I like the word barbaric, but then when I think of the word barbaric, I always add it to animalistic. And then when I go into animalistic, then that means that the mental capacity is not there. That he's just basing something off of just pure adrenaline and there's no concept. I do agree with that, but I just think that stat is the way it is because men want their car fixed. Like it's evident. How many women put on makeup when they drive? That's the like those things that I've seen out of my own eyes. How many women have backed into things and bumped things versus men? See, those are unreportable things. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to paint a picture here to say women are bad drivers and things like that. But when you go into professional driving, then who's there?
Yeah,
shout out to the semi-truck drivers.
So more stats, not stats necessarily, but who has the edge in certain scenarios. So more men die in car crashes each year. Men have a higher likelihood of engaging in risky driving behavior. That's kind of what Shelby was saying, such as not wearing a seatbelt, driving under the influence of alcohol, or speeding. Men typically drive more miles than women. Severe accidents tend to occur more with men than with women. Females have a higher chance of being injured or killed in crashes that are equally severe, which makes sense, I guess. Though this narrows with age. So I guess the older you get, the closer the gap is. From 1975 to 2019, male crashes deaths were more than double female crash deaths.
But see, now we got to put that, but see, and that could be true. And I'm not going to rebuttal that, but then we need to create another graph professional driving
already went over
implemented into that.
And so in 2019, 71% of car fatalities were males. It seems like these numbers are skewed a little bit. We would have to deep dive into these. As of 2019, males made up 71% of driving deaths in a passenger vehicle, 48% of deaths as a passenger in a passenger vehicle, 96% as a driver in large trucks. Yeah, so we haven't even taken that into account.
What kind of driving?
I mean, I guess we did in some instance because the other stat said men do 62% of the driving. Mm-hmm. We could assume some of that is work related because I'm sure the large majority of men, 18-wheeler drivers, certain kind of trucks, garbage men, delivery drivers. I'm sure a large percentage of those are males. So I guess that 96% of driver deaths in a large truck.
And see, this piggybacks.
Males made up 71% of driver deaths in the passenger vehicle. 48% of deaths in a passenger vehicle as a passenger in a passenger vehicle. 96% of driver deaths in a large truck. So basically all of them in large vehicles. 67% of deaths as a passenger in a large truck. So not only does the driver 96% in the large vehicle, but 67% also as the passenger, and 70% of pedestrian deaths. 80 we get ran over more. That's not funny. 86% of bike deaths, yeah, because we ride bikes more, as well as 91% of motorcyclists deaths.
I was gonna say motorcycles, yeah.
All right, so yeah.
But I'm like, to this comment, I like it. It's true. If we can break down barbaric, and that could be used as like taking chances, taking the risk, certain things, and we're designed that way. You know, to like we don't look at, or maybe we do, and we don't care, and maybe that's where the barbaric mentality comes in, where it's like we know that this is risky, but we don't care. You know, so I'm like. Shout out to the comments in the chat. You know what I mean? These comments are fantastic, and I love them. You know, I love all of them and stuff like that. So I appreciate all of that. But you know, with the statistics showing that
Your
you know
chat
that
is usually informed. They really help.
that men have to take the challenge, because if these things they won't get done. I won't say they won't get done, but they won't get done in the type of fashion. We talking 96%. That's humongous of driving trucks and professional vehicles to get things, resources and things like that. Like that's such a big responsibility just in itself.
Right.
And unfortunately, you know, shout out to the truck drivers out there.
Yeah,
it's a very, very dangerous, very risky, very high risk job, you know, for those to get up and do that on a regular basis. So, you know, shout out to them. Because not only they got to protect themselves, but others, you know, as well.
Yeah, we just saw that case with the dude who was driving. I think he was driving an 18-wheeler truck. His brakes went out. Hispanic guy, young too. I think he was 24. Brakes went out. He missed the what is it called? The
median.
You know
the freeway median.
No, you know the ramp where out of control trucks go up. I forget what it's called, but it's like an emergency ramp. It's like a steep uphill ramp that's supposed to stop.
So he missed it.
Yeah, he missed it. Ended up killing, I think, 4 people.
Jesus.
In an intersection, and I think they tried to give him 50 years off top, but then the governor came in and got it lowered. But yeah, we just talked about that case. So yeah,
wow.
So, yeah, you know, Hasan has a point when he says men cause most of the accidents, but I think there's a lot of nuance and subtleties and context in those discussions, too, that don't necessarily make it mean what he's trying to say.
Yeah, and I agree. I don't have no rebuttal.
Notorious Collector, you guys would get embarrassed by Hasan for your own good. Stick to talking to your small audience instead. But yeah, I don't think so. Hasan, he talks from his emotions a lot. And so
do I.
That's how he ends up in this discussion with Andrew Tate, sticking with his argument that women cause less accidents, which is true, but he also didn't think to apply what that could mean in a wider scale. He just was like, I'm right. And let me dig
and just
in
to add to that is because you're off, respectable men don't embarrass respectable men. It's as simple as that.
That too, like
you know what I mean? Like men come in all shapes and sizes and things like that. But when you are a man and you're a true man, and whatever it is that you feel is the definition of a true man, and you respect yourself first and foremost, family second, and all that other stuff, then why would he try to embarrass us if we follow those guidelines, which I know he does? And I don't even know him personally.
No, I think he's looking at that as a view. I think if we talk to, if we had a conversation with Hasan, like he could be right or wrong, and maybe the viewers would look at it as one side got embarrassed.
I always encourage the comments, but at the same time, you know, that the door swings both ways. I'm not here to make enemies or anything like that.
All right,
but,
so I understand what you're saying. We'll get back to the video, but to brighten the situation up a little bit, Bridget the Gap says, I'm going through insurance too. Ain't nobody got time to be driving around 3 weeks without a mirror.
That's right.
So she like, forget your stereotype, Chris. I'm going to insurance.
Get the mirror, babe.
So you're not gonna have a Hispanic homie hook it up?
On a bunch of different things. The truth of life is the truth that you experience as an individual. That is the only truth that we all live within. You live within your truths, I live within my truths, because these are the truths I've experienced as an individual. If certain things happen to you over and over and over and over and over again, but the truth on the internet says it's not true, that doesn't mean that your experiences are any less real. So if you to come here and say the internet says X, especially
your experiences can be real. You could be a statistical anomaly, as a matter of fact. You can be one of those people, but more often than not, I want
to talk to you because I keep letting you talk and you're finishing your point and I'm trying to talk. So
okay, go ahead.
I'm going to. The fact that you're going on the internet, finding some study and saying that this is the truth, especially after the age of COVID and all the fucking truth we were told with that garbage, you want to sit here and say, oh, the internet said X. I'm sure the internet did. I'm talking about my personal experiences, and some people agree with me and some people do not. That is perfectly fine. Don't give a fuck if people agree with me or otherwise. People are listening to me and they're either agreeing with me or
but
not.
you're still wrong, and that's the problem.
I disagree with you.
Do you want to be right, or do you want to keep speaking into a hug box where people agree with you?
What is a hug box?
Well, if you just completely devalue empirical evidence,
I use that same term, but I like to call it a circle jerk. It's like when a group of people that there's certain people that don't like talking to or hanging around people that disagree with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like we all know those people. Like, oh, I'm blocking you because we disagree or whatever. So I think he's just saying Andrew Tate's circle is a hug box. I like calling it a circle jerk. Hug box is just as funny to me.
Science is the entirety of the insurance industry that relies on making these sorts of calculations to ensure that these quotes are as profitable as possible, which ends up charging men higher rates than women, as a statistical likelihood that men are more dangerous drivers than women across the board and get into more car accidents across the board. If you're going to look at all of that and say it doesn't matter because that does not correspond to my own personal experiences, then you're silly. You're being silly. You're being a silly person. If everyone thought like you did, right, we would have no scientific achievements on this planet. We would still be living inside of fucking caves. And now, as much as
and see, look, this is where I have to come back to my guy. This is where I have to come back to my guy, Notorious Collector. See, Hasan took this one stat that made him right and didn't examine the stat that men do 62% of the driving, but only cause 58% of the accidents. So yes, it's true that men have almost 2 million more accidents a year than women, but they drive more than half, way more than half of the time, and cause just above half of the accidents. So per capita, women cause more accidents if you take all of that into relation, right? Right? I'm just saying. I know we have a smaller audience than Hasan. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's
like,
fine.
I'm just saying.
I love our small audience. So, you know, I wouldn't trade them in for the world. So, you know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Liver King personally.
Yeah, Shelby says Andrew follows nature, but the other guy sounds political. The other guy's definitely political. He's like, he definitely has a he has a bias to be right, and for if not women to come out on top of certain arguments, for at least there to be an equal stance for men and women. And I think he takes that stance a lot of the time, and it just doesn't fit. So when you have somebody saying, oh, women are responsible for more accidents, 100% of the time, Hasan's going to be like, no, it's either equal or women cause less, right? He's always going to take that.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm like, you know,
there's nothing wrong with it.
He's entitled to his opinion towards it. You know what I mean? Just like we're exercising our opinion. You know what I mean? Like, there's no right or wrong here. You know, we're not trying to taboo women or anything like that. We're just stating just our opinions. So, like, if it was on a test and they would ask me the question, I would say, well, no, this is how I feel. And that would just be my answer.
Hey, so we'll get this video 2 to 5 more minutes, and then we'll wrap it up. Let's see how they finish it off.
Hey,
Pepper.
don't think that that would be a good planet to live on. I'm pretty happy for, I don't know, all the medical achievements, all the scientific achievements that we have reached. And at the heart of all of that, all of those accomplishments lies an understanding of arriving at the truth through empirical evidence.
You done?
Yeah.
Cool. In my personal experiences, all of the car crashes I've been involved in, all the times my car was hit, and all the negative experience I've had on the road, women were at fault. That is, now you can sit here and say the insurance claims say that. I never said the insurance claims don't say that. I'm saying that I am not comfortable with women driving because of my personal experience. Those are my personal experiences. You can drag up all the empirical evidence in the world you want to try and drag up. Anyone with a brain knows how that aids the world agendas anyway. I don't want to go too political on a stream that's going to get taken down. So I'm not saying that I can't find a female race car driver. I'm not saying that.
That's not what I'm saying either. I'm not talking about like statistical anomalies. I'm straight up talking about the overwhelming amount of evidence that suggests that women are more careful drivers than men.
That's a very powerful word.
And therefore better drivers than men. Now, you keep resorting back to...
See, there you go. That's an emotional argument. We just looked at these statistics. It's not overwhelming. I think we had 6.1 million accidents caused by men, 4.4 million caused by women. Men do 62% of the driving, only cause 58% of the accidents. What's overwhelming about these numbers?
What's overwhelming is that men are just put in a predicament that they just have to do what they have to do, which is nothing wrong with that. We're
right, and
to deal with that.
Not only that, but we went to like along the numbers of men who are driving for work, and what percentage of accidents are those? 96% of fatalities and accidents involving large trucks are men.
Because if we was to ask 100 women, if it was a weird predicament, who do you trust driving you to a destination? Who would they pick?
They could pick the men.
So
especially over long distances.
So this would make,
like, if me and my wife was like, "Yo, let's drive to San Francisco right now." It's like 5 hours away. At 12 at night.
Not
only is it not a discussion,
take on the task and take on half and stuff like that, but at the same time, she knows that man is a safety net. So if she gets tired, if something comes up during her time, he's gonna pick it up. And I'm not saying that's making a woman weak or anything like that. That's actually making her very intelligent. To say, hey, you know what? I want to prove a point. Let me just go on and let this do this because I trust his judgment. You know what I mean? I trust him. So this could make this whole argument almost irrelevant because like if we're
bridging the gap is gonna say that's controlling, yeah.
Because we could just ask women who they trust.
Personal anecdotes. So let me walk you through this, right?
Brother,
do you agree that human beings have biases?
Do me a favor.
Okay. But hey, I respected your time. Do you want to answer my question? Do you believe that human beings have biases?
Oh, absolutely. We're all biased.
Okay.
Completely.
Do you think that those biases might cloud your judgment?
It's not about clouding judgment.
Not just your personal not just your own personal judgment. Do you think our biases might cloud
so is
our
biases mental health?
I think every single person on earth is biased.
Is that mental health?
Absolutely.
I don't think that's how he meant
absolutely
it.
true.
No. But that's how I'm taking it because cloud judgment is mental health.
If you agree with me on both of
clouded judgment?
Clouded judgment is mental health, like schizophrenia, bipolarism, Alzheimer's, dementia. Those are mental health, which clouds what? Judgment.
Yeah, but that's you can. Oh, that's a good point. Or that's a good question or way to perceive it.
Yeah, that's why I said it's that would have been my question to him. Is that mental health? Is that clinically shown that alters the way you think?
That's an interesting question. I don't know. Are you saying like repeat the question?
So he says he's biases, right? Or I don't know if I'm pronouncing the word right.
So you're asking whether or not a bias
So he say is human beings biasy, and then his question was, do you think by you being biased does that alter your question? So then my question on the defense was, so is biasy mental health? Because mental health alters the way you think.
So you're saying he worded it anecdotally?
Yeah. So that would be my question: is that mental health? Show me clinical studies that show me that I'm being biased as being mental health.
Yeah, we went over this bridging the gap. I don't know if we went over some of it. So men are more likely to be in accidents involving alcohol. I don't think they went over medical conditions, and I think men are were more reckless. What else did you say? Yeah, so I guess that would be driving tired would be reckless.
Yeah, it's not smart.
And how many are driving when a deer darts?
It's even that right there.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Recklessness is a mental alter.
Yeah,
because medicine gives you a effort effect, which will alter your mind.
Overwhelmingly controlling. Hey, yo. I'm defending the whole term controlling. I don't know why she put the devil on that word like that. They were comparing it to slavery, and what else did they say? Like controlling is.
Okay, all right, I'm done talking. Let's see what his answer is. I'm curious.
Counts. You understand that your anecdotes, your own personal accumulation of information, is going to be clouded by your own personal biases. So you're not going to be able to assess the information adequately in the same way that empirical evidence would. This is precisely why we look at data rather than make arguments around our... Wait, let me finish. Come on.
I understand what you're saying.
This is precisely why we do that.
We went over the same point like 5 times here.
Everyone's saying kick you. You're long-winded the point. You're saying that the empirical evidence is saying X, so it doesn't matter what my personal experience is. That's fine. My point is, let me change it. Let's say that the empirical evidence says that a pit bull is more likely to bite you than a Dalmatian. But in your life experience, every time you went near a Dalmatian, it bit you, and a pit bull never did. Are you going to go up to a Dalmatian still completely and go, oh, it's fine, completely unbiased because the empirical evidence says X when you're covered in scars? No. You're going to say, Dalmatians bite me for some reason, and I'm not comfortable around Dalmatians. That's called human nature. Okay. So I'm telling you my personal experiences, and I don't care. I understand your point. Empirical evidence says X. Women in this country can do X. I completely get that. Secondly, it's also country by country because you're only talking about America because you're American and you don't see outside of the world. That's fine.
I'm Turkish, actually. I grew up in Turkey.
That's not the point. That's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is I'm uncomfortable with a woman driving. And if you actually ask most women, if it gets late at night or it starts getting dark or it starts raining heavily or the parking gets difficult, they usually ask the man to drive themselves. I know many women who do that. They're not offended by my assumption. I know loads of women who go, oh, I don't want to park. You park it. Loads. There's not a bad thing about it. Who gives a shit, right? It's not even a big deal. You've come on here deciding you really want to stick up for the chicks and maybe, one of them will drive over to your house. It's cool. You've got better things to talk about.
Look, let's be real. I don't think I need to be a male feminist to be able to attract women, okay? However, having said that, that was a funny implication. Having said that, you are failing to recognize what I am trying to say. I walked you through these steps slowly but surely. The thing is, the Dalmatian example that you gave is great. Why is it great? Because you are creating now a hypothetical scenario in which you want your opponent to concede. I can do the exact same thing and say, well, in my personal experience, Dalmatians never bite, or pit bulls never bite, whichever one you thought was the more aggressive breed, right? In my personal experience,
I think they're both starting to do that now. I think
it's rambling.
But yeah, so they're moving on to dogs, and we're not going to follow them over there. But
well, you're trying to prove a point. I've said what I needed to say, not rushing, but
Shelby. So Shelby Stewart again. From my personal experience, now I would like opinion on this. But people that psychologically are challenged have more common sense. Or where I would agree with you. I think some people on the autism spectrum, I think they have more common sense. I think that's like their disability that they function within common sense. That's why they fail socially. So I would agree with you on that instance. But anything else,
I'm taking that as like that they deal with more things, so they have the experience. Like they've dealt with more stuff. Like kind of like like a cop versus a plumber, like who has more kind of like people experience, you would clearly pick the cop because they're more involved in more things, but not saying that the plumber is relevant though. But I think that's what the question means. I think I'm just making an assumption. I think that's what he's asking.
All right, here's a little bundle, so let me try and clear it up. He was like, so from his personal experience, he would like the opinion, but he thinks people that are psychologically challenged have more common sense. So I guess they have like, I think that's a true, that statement could be true or false. Because are we talking like schizophrenia? That's what I was saying. Are we talking about schizophrenia or Asperger's? Like, it's the spectrum of psychologically challenged is too wide to say that's a all true.
Well, psychologically challenged could be, in my opinion, maybe being biased because you're looking at things one-sided versus what society might be looking at it too.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. That statement has too much context to try to narrow it down.
Well, he does agree with Chris. He just wrote in the chat he agrees with Chris.
Yeah.
With what you said, Chris.
He also says being a male feminist lures feminists, and I 100% agree with that.
Who's this person? What's her name?
Shelby Stewart.
Shelby
Stewart.
Excellent.
That's one of my favorite followers, chat members now.
I appreciate the tuning in and being here with us and implementing, comments and things like that. And it's a pleasure. Pleasure to meet you.
Even when I didn't agree, like they put some interesting things.
Pleasure to meet you. Not take away anything away from Bridging the Gap and Mr. Newton.
Forget Bridging the Gap, me and Bridging the Gap ain't gonna get along. She think I'm being mean to women tonight about my controlling this, but she ain't even. Yeah, I was nice today. You haven't seen me on a day where I'm turned up.
Oh my gosh.
You guys need to get along.
I could really tell you, I think women need to be controlled more. I think y'all are out of order.
I ain't gonna.
think y'all are out of order. I think
just gonna remove this and slide it.
I think back in the day, back in the day, especially like in say our community, you know what I mean? Women followed male leadership more, and the results were better. I agree. And then
but that was torn down.
People like us started following.
This opens up a whole other thing, and I can't even open that up.
People like us started following that feminism way.
What he's saying is true. What he's saying is true, and I'm not saying it in a mean way at all. It's true, and so when the invasion from whoever came over into the motherland, that was the whole.
I ain't even talking about that.
No. But I'm just
50,
saying,
60, 70 years ago.
Well, yeah, but I'm going way back further than that. You know what I'm saying?
Let me finish. Yeah. I'm just talking about, 70 years ago, women started following feminism, and then y'all started taking your babies out of your womb, whatever you want to call that. Now y'all complaining about making too much money and you can't find men that make as much money as you. More of you are single mothers. There's less two-parent households. So like Jamal dropped me to the curb. I didn't drop you to the curb. You one of my favorite chat members too. I love when you hear. Whenever you hear, we have these kind of discussions. You brighten the chat room. I'm just saying, you got me on a nice day. I ain't even dug in yet, and I ain't gonna dig out. You almost had me digging in. I was about to start, but I'm gonna stop right there. But thanks, Regina Gap, for being here. She said I just say stuff. It's commentary.
I'm gonna get a phone call when I leave.
Bridging the Gap. She been with us for day one. This is show 31. She's literally been here since show one.
No. Shout out
big
to
supporter.
That. Right. Shout out to everyone, the day oneers. You know what? Shout out to
who is
our gear here. You know, if you guys haven't noticed, Randy is rocking. You know, some good exclusives.
AmericasMind.
Bucket hats. I got my little exclusives right here. A little secret drink. you know, I can't disclose on camera what it is. Jamal has his mug over there. I think he's drinking water.
I'm drinking the water, yeah. It's water.
I got some other stuff.
Every time.
And I'm about to drive, so I'm
It's
about to fit
always water.
the statistics of the...
So this is the America's Mind logo cup. Chris has the America's Mind emoji cup.
Yeah, so shout out
I like that one
to
better,
that one.
honestly.
Shout out. I can't, you know, let me... all right.
Yeah, it's just this on the cup.
But
it's these emojis on the cup.
Oh, E's here.
Oh, snap. My bad.
But yeah, my hands are up.
Hi.
All right, I know that was planned in y'all ear, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to Randy and Chris. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me clear that up for you. So, also,
yes,
this is the last time I'm going to tell you.
It's still playing.
It's still playing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's up, Pepper? Have you guys met Pepper yet? Pepper is our brand cat. Pepper loves the show. She's here every Sunday. Right, Pepper? Yeah. Look, you see the people? Yeah, go away. Yeah, so this is the last time I'm going to tell you. If this is your first time here, second time here, third time here, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so that YouTube can bother you every time we go online, which is usually every Sunday. I was asking who is Lilith. Feminism started with Lilith. Bridging the Gap says they're not ready for the Adam and Lilith. It's not Eve? Adam had a side piece? Ooh. I don't even know that story.
Me neither.
I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that discussion.
I want the smoke now. No one wants to.
Nobody is. Oh, snap.
What's the next topic?
I gotta figure out something about Lilith. Why they don't talk about Lilith? Eve was eating the apple and Adam and Lilith was off on the side somewhere doing something else.
It's the new topic.
I need to know what was happening.
No. I'm gonna call her now. Like I'm curious.
Yeah, like who's Lilith?
I'm gonna pray on it.
Oh my
God. God may tell me there's no such thing as Lilith.
Lilith was his first wife? Where did y'all get this from? This in the book? This in the real book? Or it's in like the books that y'all say are buried or burnt or somewhere? Book of Eden? I don't know that book. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. We're gonna get out of here. I'm Jamal Williams.
I'm Christopher Barris.
Randy.
And that's Randy K. And we are America's favorite podcast. We are America's Mind.
Mind.